Hello my fellow land haters. Today is going to be another From the Depths tutorial video. This time is going to be about armoring your ships. Now, armoring in From the Depths is very difficult for people who are starting out, and I'm going to help out. This is the whole point of this video. Anyways, let's get started. Now, for one, when it comes to armoring your ships, there is multiple blocks that are good. You want to use metal the majority for armor because it's not super heavy, it's not super light, it has pretty good health, and it can take a beating. And if you use certain blocks such as the beam slope, which gives this little air gap here, if, like, let's say this was the vehicle wall, right? If a shell would have hit the wall and it went through, then if it was a heat shell or a frag shell, the fragments would just go down into the bottom of the vehicle, which would be okay. And of course you don't have to do that. You can have maybe two walls. You can have some people, they'll have the vehicle wall and then they use wedges, which can't do the same thing as beam slopes, except now it's on both sides and then they close it off. Or you can do what most people do, and it's this is a pretty good armor setup, but you have your metal layer, then you can have wood for HESH, or high explosive squash head, which is notorious for ripping ships apart. And then put that kind of like this, that's very good. And then using some alloy for lightweight. And then you can do whatever you want. You can add a beam slope at the back, you can add some poles for more heat protection. I would probably add another metal layer, so it goes like that. But now you're probably wondering, well, where do I put the armor? Now a lot of people would probably say on the vehicle wall or the ship wall. You don't want to do this. And now that may seem like something dumb to say, I'm going to explain why you should do that instead of the regular way of just armoring up the wall. And I'm going to demonstrate this by showing you one of my own ships, which is why this thing spawned. Okay. That. Alright, so check this out. You have, under this, the deck, let me just delete all this. Look at this. So, you have an alloy deck, but see how I use armor? I have a layer of metal around my gun, then I have these poles for air gaps, and then I have heavy armor. And heavy armor is really good too, but it's very heavy, so don't overuse it. And it's also way more expensive. And then on secondaries, I have a layer of metal and alloy protecting it. But here's the kicker. You don't, what I mean by don't armor the vehicle walls, what you want to do is actually armor up the components themselves. You don't care about the rest of the vehicle. Like, I mean, you do, but you really only care about the stuff inside of it, not the outside of it. For example, down here, like, here, you have my engine. Like, over here is covered in heavy armor, it's very heavily protected, yet you go to the very left wall, there's a layer of metal and just alloy. No armor here, but then you come to the secondary, there's metal, and then main guns, like I said, they have a lot of armor. But what you want to do is that you want to armor up your components so that way they take up the space around the vehicle. And then you'll have it's way easier to armor this way, because then all you have to do after that is just add air gaps. So I bet if I can probably find a autosave, but I'm not entirely sure on it. Give me one moment. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Okay. So this is the earliest version I have. I'm going to delete this. Alright. Now this is the inside of the ship without all the alloy and stuff. But check this out. Now you can see what the inside of it actually looks like. So a lot of the alloy I just removed were all air gapped, but now you can see the internals of my ship, and you can see there's really not a lot of actual armor. You have my gun, armor on the guns goes back. Then I have some ammo here. I covered in heavy armor, an alloy, then another gun, and then air gap, air gap. Then I have my central AI, which is really important to your ships, which I usually cover in rubber, because rubber is really EMP resistant. And then you have heavy armor for actual gun protection, and then surge protectors for more EMP protection. Then you keep going, there's my engine, covered in heavy armor, and alloy. Here's my secondaries, covered in metal. You get the point. I'm not actually armoring up the sides with like any real armor. I'm just armoring up the stuff that's important and then leaving the rest with alloy. Because what will eventually happen is that if they keep breaking through this wall, they'll eventually reach this layer, sure, but now they have to get through this. Because, and that's the mentality a lot of real shipbuilders use, and it's that they don't really care about what the outside of the ship looks like. All they care about is the survival of their crew and their weaponry, if that makes sense. But obviously I'm like tired because I have school in the morning and I have other stuff to do, but this can be a quick video to teach you how to actually armor up your ships, because I know that was something I really struggled with at the beginning. But yeah, and that should be it for this. Just remember, making sure you use a mixture of different blocks and different material to get the best armor possible. And on that, everyone have a good day.